Hello. So anyways, hello. I'll just be normal. Hello. Act like a normal person. Um, so today's kind of a weird day because we're supposed to talk about check registers and balancing your checkbook and things like that. The state of Texas says we have to teach it. I'm going to show it to you, but the big thing here is that in the age that we're in with the digital and online stuff, balancing a checkbook has kind of gone out the window. There are some really key things on what's really important about balancing a checkbook and why you need to do it. One of the main reasons I think it's important is because you're dealing with adding and subtracting decimals and and honestly, it's really important when you're creating a budget and things like that, which is a really big thing that we don't get into in sixth grade. But having a budget, sticking to your budget, making sure you know where all of your money is going is really, really important. Because most people don't have a budget, and budgets are a really good thing. And I can say that from experience that a budget's a good thing, because we spent a whole bunch of money when we first got married, and we don't have a lot to show for it, even though like we made money because we didn't have a budget. We have no idea where that money went. A lot of it probably goes to eating out. If you eat out a lot, you spend a lot of money. Amazon Prime, things like that. Creating a budget, staying with a budget, and things like that. And in sixth grade, it's hard because you might not have your own money yet, and maybe you do. Maybe you like babysit the lawns. I don't know, clean houses, or maybe you get an allowance, and that's cool, and that's awesome. And so, just knowing how to handle your money and knowing what you want to do with your money, and not just say, oh, I'm just going to spend it however I want to spend it, coming up with an idea of like, oh, I want to save this money for this big thing that I want, or I want to put some away for a car eventually, or to go to college, or something like that. And so it's all about creating a budget and things like that. But I'm going to show you what it would look like to balance a checkbook, but then I'm also going to kind of give you an idea of what is really most people's reality, which is online banking. One big thing that people do not do a lot of is they do not check their bank account balance. If you actually asked people that how often do you check your bank account balance, most people probably don't check it very often. And that is a problem because there are a lot of people out there who try to take your money. We actually had we've had people try to take our money all the time with Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo is pretty cool because they'll give you your money back if you can kind of prove that it wasn't you. But another thing is we had we had two Netflix accounts, which we didn't even know we had, and we were only using one but getting charged for two of them. And it's really, really, really unfortunate that this happened for months. Thankfully, Netflix is also really cool and gave us our money back. So shout out to Netflix. Netflix. If I could have a shirt that says Netflix is cool, I'd probably shirt right then and there, But Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, I'm sorry. But not really, because there's a lot of other things you could be doing. You could be doing math instead of watching Netflix, I'm just saying. Like right now. Okay, so typically, oh look, you can see my screen. Awkward, okay. Typically, there we go. Typically, when you're balancing a checkbook and things like that, one thing that they always have a date, a description, either the money that you're paying. So if you are writing a check, that means that you are withdrawing money because you're buying something. So that word right there is withdrawal. Now, some people use this just for, like, this word can mean a lot of different things. It just means that something's coming out. People say this like I went through a caffeine withdrawal. Had too much coffee all the time. And so when I stopped having coffee, started getting headaches and, wanted to argue with everybody because I was going through a caffeine withdrawal, right? Some of you might be having like a school withdrawal during this remote learning thing. I know, you miss us. I miss you too. Just saying. I'm going through a people withdrawal because I'm not seeing anybody. And it's making me really frustrated. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Withdrawal. So when something is leaving, okay? So like if I'm taking money out, it's called a withdrawal. So if I write a check, that means that's money I'm not going to have anymore, right? Okay? Old people write checks. Well, I mean, okay, wait. That's not true. Lots of people write checks, not just old people. But most of the time it's old people. I'm just saying, old people love their checks. Okay, so when they write a check, they're withdrawing money from their account, so they're taking money out. The other word is deposit. So deposit means to put money in. Okay, so if I'm depositing money, I'm putting money in. So it's just kind of I always just think of like deposit. I'm putting it in. It kind of just sounds like putting in money, right? So I'm putting money into my account if I'm depositing money. So withdrawal, I'm taking it out. Deposit, putting it in. Okay, so typically on a checkbook, whenever you're balancing a checkbook, right, it won't just say money here, it'll say withdrawal or deposit, right? And so then you have to kind of know what those words mean. That's why it's really important that you know that vocabulary. Remember, math is its own language. It's a really fun language too, right? Anyways, okay, so they always want the date. Sometimes checks don't go through like they're supposed to. Like someone writes you a check. So if you get a check for like a birthday or something like that, and you don't go put it in, I think it's like 3 months. If you don't deposit the check within 3 months, I think is like it's void. Like in another word, void. Void is pretty much like saying nope. Too bad, doesn't work, not gonna happen, right? So that's a really big thing, is that if you don't deposit a check in the right amount of time, it's no good anymore. Okay, so there's a date you have that it goes through. Description, this is really important. Having a description, knowing what it means. On your bank account and things like that, it'll have like a description of who it went to typically. And so that's how we found people that have taken money from us, is because of the description. Because in the description it says something like, it'll say something that neither of us understand what it is. Or it'll say like, oh, it's a deposit to a different bank. And we're like, you give money to a bank? No, me either. Oops, okay, now we got a problem. So description is really important. So then money, how much is it? And then on a check register, they actually want you to have the balance of how much money do you have now. Now that you've put in that money or taken it out, what are you at? So let's pretend like we started a balance of $100. We'll be really, really simple right now. Okay, simple, easy to deal with, okay? So if this is my beginning balance, that's what we said, this is our beginning balance. So let's pretend like right now, I don't know what today is. It's not March anymore. It's the 12th. 12, okay? 04/12. Okay, 04/12. So let's pretend like, yeah, I'm paying Netflix. Let's just do that. So if I'm paying Netflix, that would be a negative, let's say $9, because they keep raising their prices. So it'd be a -9. So that would be called a withdrawal, because I'm taking it out, right? So then what I would do is I would say, okay, 100 minus 9 would be $91. Okay, good. So this is now my new balance. That's how much money I still have that I can spend, okay? So that would be a -9. So usually they would just say withdrawal, yada, 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 okay? So then let's pretend like tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? What could be taken out? Let's just, I don't know, car payment. I don't have one anymore, but let's just pretend like I do. We paid off our car. Car payment would come out. So this is called, usually they do like a direct thing. So like you give them your account number and then they'll take it directly out of your account. So you don't have to write a check and do all this kind of stuff. Let's pretend like it was $400. So minus 400, right? So then do we have enough money here? No, we don't. So we would actually end up going into the negative. So what that means for you is that if you had negative $400, right, and a positive 91, okay, because you had 91, you're trying to take away 400. So if you remember the song, it goes same sign, add and keep, different signs, subtract. So I'd subtract this. So this would be 10, 9, 3. So I'd have $309 negative $309. Now, really quick thing about banks, they have this thing that happens, okay, where if you go into the negative, they will charge you extra if you go into the negative. So if you go into the negative, you have a problem because they're going to actually charge you more. So they're going to say, hey, we notice you're in the negative. That means you don't have money, which means you're borrowing money from us. So we're going to take another $25 from you. So it's never a good idea to go into the negative. Okay. And this is why also keeping track of how much money you have is important. So let's pretend like you get paid on that same day, right? So let's say, I don't know, I worked Saturday school or something for like 5 weeks or something. I don't know. So I'm going to say positive 500. I don't think that's right. I don't know. Let's just pretend. Okay. So positive 500. So now, once again, now I'm going to go into the positives because I have more positives here than negatives, right? So I'm going to say 500 minus 309 to figure out how much money I have. I'm going to let you do that on your own. 500 minus 309. What is it? No, okay. So hopefully you have a positive $191 now. Okay, so then if you keep going, you can keep going, and that's what happens every month. Every month it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. And so if it's a withdrawal, it takes it away. So it's subtracting. If it's a deposit, it puts money in. So you're getting paid, right? The problem here is when you're struggling with decimals and subtraction. Now, my advice, do it on paper, make sure you can actually do it, and then check your work with a calculator because you're gonna have to make sure it matches up. Now on a test and things like that, you're not gonna have a calculator. Potentially, it depends on, maybe you do. But I'm obviously not testing you right now. So if you get to a point where you're like, I think I'm doing it right, but I'm not sure, then check over your work. Check each line. Because if you make a mistake up here, let's say you make a mistake up here, then every single one of these are wrong. And then you have a real problem. Because now it doesn't matter if all your other math is correct. You messed up here, now all of it's wrong. Okay. And in the real world, this can happen. Like if I forget to pay something, or I forget that I paid it, and I didn't have enough money. Now I'm in the negative. Now they're going to charge me extra. And I'm not about to be charged extra for nobody and for nothing. Okay. I'm just saying, not me. Plus my husband isn't about that life. So he always tries to make sure our money situation is solid. Solid, man. I think that's it. Well, and this is the weird part, is because on a bank account, a lot of times this part, if you get paid, it's usually in a different color. So a lot of times they put it in like red or things like that so that it's a positive thing. And then you can look at the top and it'll say like, you can look at all your deposits. So I click a button and all my deposits come in. I can click a button and all my withdrawals come in. It's a pretty cool situation. Online banking is really awesome and amazing. And it's real time. So if old people stop writing checks, because this is the way to go. I'm just saying. Not trying to be offensive or nothing. It's fine. Okay, anyways, so withdrawal, take money out, deposit, put money in. Got it. That's literally it. So get to work. Get after it. Watch your money, make a budget, start saving.